This video is simply about how to sew the tutu. You can buy tulle in these little spools, and this size works really good. They're approximately $5 a spool, unless you can get them on sale. I like to shop when there's a sale. So I always look for those sales at the craft store and just start adding to your collection, because I want to make a bunch of Easter bunnies with different color tulle. It'll work for the girl. I got to figure out something that would be Easterish for the boy. You take your basic bunny and it could have any one of these colors. And wouldn't they look adorable in Easter baskets? I've shown this before, but I'm going to show it again. You can buy tulle and these little tubes, and that's really easy to work with for making the tutus for the bunny. And I'm cutting off strips that are about a foot long, and I'm going to cut them into narrower strips. Last time I was using actually tulle by the yard because I had it from another project. I'm going to take a few of them, make sure they're all lined up nice and even. Let me just line up the edges a little bit here. They're pretty close. And then I'm going to cut them into thirds so that I have thinner strips. And we will do that with the rest of our pieces so that we have plenty of strips. So I have my strips, and now I just need a lady's hairband, and I'm going to use white because this is a light color. And this is really simple. Fold it in half and then put it through the loop, and then pull the two ends through that loop. So it just kind of makes a knot. And I did that a little crooked. That's okay, we're going to trim it. So we just do that through the entire process. We just fill this thing up. I never counted when I did this before, but for your benefit, I count and I'll let you know so that you'll know exactly. And we're just going to keep going, and we're going to fill this entire ring up with those little things. That almost did it. I think I need to cut off 7 more. So all total, it's going to be about 100 individual little strips, because each one we cut into thirds. And this should do it. Actually, if you want to be precise, 102. Well, it looks like it's going to use them up. I'm going to save one piece for their bow and the hair. So this does have 101 strips to make it a nice full tutu for our bunny. I'm just going to slip this on our bunny, and you can decide if it's too long, if you need to trim it. And I think I will trim it because it does seem a little big. I mean, if you like it that long, but see, it drags on the floor. I like to pull this up right up underneath her hands. But yeah, it's pretty full. First I'm going to straighten them all out because they kind of get a little messed up. And then I will go around with my scissors and give it a little trim. To help me out, I'm going to put her in a doll stand because it'd just be a little easier for me to manage this. And that way I can more easily cut the length even. And I'm just going to have this one go all the way to the floor, because with the doll stand she can just kind of rotate. And you can have it shorter if you like. It's totally up to you. I mean, you're the creator. And if you want to make your pieces a little shorter, looks like I'm cutting off about 1.5 inches. So if you want to make your pieces maybe say 10 inches, rather than 12. Then you won't have to trim so much off, or if you really want it a lot shorter. Alright, let me see what she looks like. Okay, I got a few pieces I missed that were underneath. There, she has a very long tutu. But she's pretty. Okay, I'm going to use, oops, got a couple more. I'm going to use, I'll put her in the doll stand. I'm going to use the last piece that was left over to make a bow for her hair. I'm going to cut this piece in half and put them both together. Now I'm going to make a bow out of it. I need a loop on this side and a loop on that side. And then I'm going to try to tie, I know it's kind of short, try to tie these two in a knot, pull out, there, that looks better. Okay, pull it, the bow parts are small, but it gets bigger when you pull it tight. You just have to keep adjusting it until you get it just where you want it, and then you can kind of fluff out your bow a little bit. And then I like to cut these at an angle. So now we have a little bow to put in her hair. And if you wanted to add two, you could make a second one. Put a bow in her hair. And then this little bunny is done, and she would look lovely in an Easter basket for a girl. And here's our little bunny in a tutu. Isn't she a darling? Now it used about 34 feet off of this little tube. Let me show you another way to tie a ribbon. I'm always looking for easier ways to do things. I cut off a strip, and I have a little pin stuck here. I wanted to do two of them together. So I would tie a little knot, and that way it's secure under this little pin. Okay, and then you just like you're gonna tie a shoelace. The pin kind of holds the center. That might be a little easier for some people. And then you still have to work on adjusting the size of the bow. You have to keep tightening the knot. You hold the knot as you pull out the ends. I'm going to take it off here for the moment. Actually, once you have it on there, you don't need that to pin. And then make your adjustments. Fluff out your bow and trim the bottom edges to the length that you desire. And if you wanted to, you could even put, I'm just going to pin this for the moment, but if I decide to put a little embellishment on her, a little lace collar, you could add that with a little bow there to help put her all together. You could sew a little bead into the ribbon on top of her head, and if you want to, you could have two ribbons. It's totally up to you how you want to embellish the little lady. So there's how you sew a tutu for a bunny. The tutu could be made in whatever color tulle that you decide to make it.